Would you believe the bamboo plant? We all have an idea that bamboo plants can grow really fast. But did you know when you first plant a bamboo plant, it doesn't grow for 2 or 3 years? It doesn't grow for 2 or 3 years, or so it seems. Do you know what it's doing in the first 2 or 3 years? It's establishing its root system. It's laying its own foundations, and once those foundations are laid, its growth is incredible. So why don't we think about doing something similar in any endeavour, but certainly with our trading? So on that theme, I thought I'd come up with my own list, or the foundations to successful trading. I cannot state enough the importance of obviously having the right attitude and having a positive attitude to anything we do, and I won't say anything more about that. Firm believer in setting goals. Remember, if you aim at nothing, you're sure to hit. Now, how far do these goals stretch? I'm not talking about the next 2 weeks. Why aren't you setting yourself goals for the next 12 months? Next 3 years, how about 5 years, how about 10, how about 15? I don't know about you, but I want to be trading in 20 years' time. So if it takes me a few years to lay the foundations, what's 2 or 3 years? If I enjoy the fruits of the foundations for the next 17 or beyond. I cannot say enough about discipline. I cannot say enough about discipline because a lot of people, don't make money in the markets because they have little discipline. They may have a plan, but they just don't have what it takes to follow and adhere to that plan, and I'll talk a little bit about that later as well. Commit to your future and take action. Here's Confucius. He says, the superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. And one of my personal favourites, action is the foundational key to success. Pablo Picasso. Action is the foundational key to success. You would have to think that Nike got it right with their motto. Just do it. Take action. Turn the TV off or log off, some incredible time wasters that we have at our disposal, and please educate yourself. Please educate yourself. I'll be the first to admit, when I started trading, I thought trading would be easy money. I think it's the hardest easy money there is. It's not that easy. But I'll be the first to admit that's how I felt, and I think a lot of people approach the market with, how hard can this be? I'm just buying and selling. That's it. But I think the equivalent of doing that, thinking from day one we'll be in business and making money, and give it 3 or 4 weeks we'll have our own island, I think that's the equivalent of heading out to Tullamarine Airport, and instead of turning right when you hop on the aeroplane, turn left, knock on the cockpit door and say, I'll take us to Adelaide, with 0 flying experience. I certainly wouldn't want to be on that plane. One thing that I've learned over the years is the model to trading success, I guess, and to your trading plan. They are the 3 M's. Now, people will use other terms to perhaps what I've presented here. They'll talk about trading system rather than my methodology. They'll talk about risk management, money management, as opposed to my money, and many people will use the term psychology rather than perhaps the mindset. And the way these words are presented, of course, it makes it easy to remember. Now, what's included in all these? Well, the method is perhaps your analysis method and your entry signal and the way in which you analyse stocks and enter trading opportunities. We need to manage our money, manage our risk, and manage our exposure in the market. We need to get out of trades that don't work in our favour. We need to limit how much money we put into individual trades to diversify our risk. And of course, underpinning all of that is the 6 inches in between your ears. I'd just like to briefly talk about each of those areas, and I'll start with the 6 inches in between your ears. So what are some of the attributes that perhaps consistently profitable traders have? Are they people who routinely drive their Ferrari out the garage and head off down the road and have a coffee at 10:30 in the morning because the rest of their day is open? Is that sort of the style or typical trader you see in your mind? I can tell you some attributes of consistently profitable traders. They're disciplined, they're structured, they're organised, they're used to working within a framework, within guidelines, within structure. They're very humble, they're very patient. Here's an endeavour, let me talk about humility just for a second. Here's an endeavour in life where you may be wrong more often than you're right. Just think about that for a second. You may enter trades and have more of those trades, more than 50% result in losing money, yet still make lots of money. Because the key ingredient is not how many times you win or lose. The key ingredient is the average profit compared with the average loss. And the time-tested rules suggest that if you have a loss, make it small, get rid of it, move on. If you have a profit, stay with it. And even better, buy more, because it's moving in the right direction. So humility is something you'll find a lot of amongst very successful traders. They simply know and accept unhesitatingly that you just cannot get every trade right. And if it doesn't work out, so what? Move on. Okay. Certainly discipline, I'll say that again, and patience. Okay. You know, just on the patience thing, you saw in the bio before 12 years of trading experience. I'm going to tell you, the first 5 of those years, I had no idea what I was doing. Okay. But I did pay commission back in '96, so that qualifies as I started trading back in '96, and therefore I do have 12 years of experience, but the first few years I was clueless. And I'll be the first to admit that. So it does take time. That's the bottom line. Unfortunately, we have some of these emotions in us, and sometimes they can influence us when we don't want them to, and they are like fear and greed and other emotions. And it's very easy to get emotionally involved in what we're doing in our trading. And the biggest reason for that is because it's our own hard-earned cash that's exposed to risk. We're going to make money or lose money. And I don't think there's many things in life that grab at our emotions as much as money does. You may say relationships do, and I accept that, but behind that, I reckon money is something that really grabs at us in certain ways that we really just can't define. Okay, so money has a tendency to grab us. And it's so easy when we're trading and making our decisions to be emotionally involved in those decisions. And I can assure you, becoming emotionally involved will tend you down to the wrong path and really not have you achieving those goals that you set yourself with your money. Right, so how do we deal with those? Just to answer the question, I think the biggest way of doing that is treat trading like a business. And there'll be business owners in this audience right now, people who are self-employed, who know and fully accept that you make some decisions that perhaps don't work out. May cost you money, may cost you time, resources, whatever. But what they do accept is the fact that that's just part of running a business. You make some good decisions and you make some poor decisions. From the poor ones you learn, you develop, you mature, you get better, we hope. But we all accept that as just part of the course, I guess, and part of running a business. Donald Trump once said that in business, I don't care about the money. Right? To me, it's a game. The money is just really a way to keep score. I personally believe it's pretty easy to say that when you've got lots of it. That's just my take on Donald Trump's debate. And again, I can assure you that all consistently profitable traders have a plan. Have a plan that they follow. And they do so with absolute confidence, without hesitation. They have a plan. How anybody can think they can trade the market successfully without a plan is beyond me. I don't know how you can think that. You may early on, but please don't think that. All consistently profitable traders have a plan. Now, here's the issue. It's all very well and good to have a plan, but no good if it's in the third drawer on the left-hand side of your desk. How do we then do everything we can to ensure that we follow the plan? How do we do that? And I guess it comes back to maybe running a business and treating it like a business plan. Maybe pretend that you're giving it to someone else or someone else is giving it to you and you're an employee and you just have to follow. That's all you have to do. But somehow we need to have the discipline to have the plan, but then to follow it.